Hey, what's up? I'm here with Jim Bryson and John K. Samson. Guys, thanks for coming in. Good to see you. Thanks for performing for us. That was awesome. It was great.
It was lovely.
Let's talk about the record right away. I guess first question, I know obviously you guys have a history with each other as musicians, but I guess, Jim, why did you decide to do this record and involve the Weaker Thans?
It's a very simple story. I just went out to lunch with Steve one day, and I was making a record at the time, and I said I'd really like the Weaker Thans to play on a couple songs, and he said, why don't we record them here? Then he also suggested we could get I could come to Manitoba under a visiting artist program, and so the wheels got in motion of trying that. And then once the idea was put up in the air, then Jason Tate, the drummer, said, well, if I'm gonna come to Winnipeg, I don't want to be in the city. I want to get out of town so I can ice fish. So we just started looking around, and I don't really exactly know how we ended up here. I think that people at the Falcon Lake Resort, where we recorded the records, they were Weaker Thans fans, so they were very familiar with the band, and they were really happy to have them there.
Yeah, that's one thing that we haven't really talked about in our press, is how kind they were to us, because usually like a resort, you wouldn't just roll in and say, we're gonna make a record, we're gonna make a ton of noise,
Yeah.
stomp around in the woods
Whenever we want.
Whenever we want.
Yeah.
And they were just like, yeah, sure, it's fine.
Yeah, they really let us just do whatever we want.
Yeah, totally.
And they would come visit. It was weird. The only visitors we had was every day or so, the guy from the resort would come and have this thing. I just have to check something on the stove. And he'd come in, and I think it was his way of just sort of seeing if we had, burned the place down or whatever. But
no, I think he had to maintain the hot tubs, though.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, okay.
I never used the hot tub, did you?
Jason's the only guy. And then he got in the hot tub. Jason got in the hot tub and had me come take pictures of him in the hot tub, so he had proof he got in the hot tub.
Right.
I think it was minus 40 out, so getting in the hot tub, getting out of the hot tub proved some challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the alternate album cover.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
I do have some photos of him in the hot tub.
Wow.
With a nice, it's sort of like, it's good. He's got like a nice icy drink with him, and away he went.
Okay, so I mean, you were saying it was a resort, but I mean now, were you
What's
guys
off-season resorts?
It's like The Shining. It's a resort,
Okay,
a little bit like that.
Off-season.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you guys did have I read it was a cottage or a cabin to yourselves.
2 cabins, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, one that we recorded in, and I stayed in that cabin.
And the rest of us kind of slept in different places, but we usually slept in the other cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, Falcon Lake, the album's the Falcon Lake Incident in particular. And, I Googled it, and I found out it's one of the largest UFO sightings in Canadian history that has gone undiscovered. And there was contact, and it's a crazy story, and I'm a UFO guy. So as soon as I found that out, I was like, okay, this is crazy. So talk about that connection. Was it purposely done?
No, it was actually not. It was brought to our attention while we were there. Jason was kind of like, he had internet too. He sort of MacGyvered everything up when he was there. He had internet, he did all the cooking, and somebody emailed him to say, you should check this out, because you guys are on Falcon Lake, you should check out this crazy idea. And then at the top of the page, we sort of had a flow chart of, because we didn't have a lot of time there, so we had to work a lot, like long days. And so just at the top of the page, I wrote the Falcon Lake Incident, and it just became a working title. And then we talked about it a little more, and we found out more about the story. And I would say that it permeated what we did, but I mean, the songs weren't written about Stefan Mahalik or anything like that. But
okay, because there is this, at least maybe because I knew the story and then I listened to it, so I was maybe looking for it.
Perfect. If you bend your brain enough, I think you could think Raised All Wrong is about him. There's no reason why.
Yeah,
you wouldn't like it's about a guy walking around aimlessly in the dark and searching for searching for the secret answer to life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's tons. I mean, even just like the creepy feedback on that song alone, I just thought it might sound like a creepy UFO type experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think it permeated without us intentionally trying to chase it down. So I think there are elements, I don't think in the music as much as once the whole story comes around to it. And I mean, we only started talking to people about it now, and everybody is talking about that primarily, like going right at the Falcon Lake, the connection. So I never thought it would be, I mean, I knew there would be, that we were setting it up for something, but not necessarily as much of a connection as people are asking about. But I think, if I said to somebody this morning, if I lied a little bit, then I could have just said all the songs were about him, and away we went. But
yeah.
Well,
I mean, constellations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, again, just some of the sounds on the record I thought were
good,
very interesting. But also, I guess on the UFO tip, I wanted to ask you guys if you do in fact believe in UFOs.
I don't.
Well, aliens or unidentified?
Oh, I believe
objects?
in unidentified flying objects. Yeah, but I'm kind of the. I mean, I
had to ask.
It's kind of. I don't know. I don't want to insult anyone, but I'm more of the opinion that I'm really not that. If they do exist, I've got other things that are concern me more than that.
Unless it's like Independence Day and you need to go.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist in any way. So, I think that there's the possibility of otherworldly existences, but I don't. Again, I just don't actually think about it very much.
Actually, and I would revise what I said a little bit. I don't believe in it, but I do believe that the people who have these experiences do believe it, and I think that it doesn't matter if it's real or not, they believe something has happened to them.
Yeah.
And that's a valid belief and a valid thing. Like I guess I wrote a song called Bigfoot, which is kind of about that whole situation, about someone seeing something and then everyone making fun of that person.
Yeah.
But him actually being really affected by it and in really profound ways. And I think that all that really matters is how that person is affected, and that should be kind of respected. And I think that can kind of be extended and used as a metaphor for the way people are treated in a broader way in our society.
Absolutely.
So I think it's kind of, you're right. It's important not to make
fun
of them.
Yeah. And I think something happened to him out there. For
I
sure.
think so too.
And that's
obviously.
I was going to say,
actually,
like
that
there's so much
particular
physical
story.
evidence.
Yeah, this is a very,
things that
very
happened
unique
to him.
story. So something happened to him. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, they were saying he was a pretty honest dude, and he would have no reason to.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm being a geek.
And and just the whole story, if something major happened to you, you'd probably, once you came to, you'd probably run screaming from it. So when the RCMP said, well, he couldn't find the spot and all that, I mean, if you were just walking aimlessly in the bush on a mineral, not aimlessly, but he was on a mineral exploration, you probably won't remember. If you walk 2 hours out of the bush, you're probably not going to remember that exact spot where something happened. So, I think the problem with some of this is that the RCMP's attitude about it was very much like this.
It's
obviously didn't happen. It's all like their whole police report is completely dismissive of it, and they talk about different things that are subtly made to discredit it a little bit, you know, even in the report, which is supposed to be an objective account of it, yet there's subjective language being used. So.
ExploreMusic wears English Laundry apparel.